Good morning, everybody. I'm at Parcaut with Bobby Atkins, and we are the Veterans Edition of Real Estate Jerky. How's it going, Bobby?
Doing pretty good today, Ed. How about yourself?
Not bad. Not bad. Finally relaxed after worked all weekend.
Yeah.
Like I said on Monday, I needed to go to work to have a day off.
Yeah. I've been there plenty of times, man.
Yeah. All right. So a couple of different things I wanted to, you wanted to talk about, if you're going to list your house, what to make sure something.
Yeah. Well, so depending on the age of your home and how many repairs there are, that sometimes doesn't make sense. But if you have the ability to have a clear pest and it's not going to cost you too much, that's a huge selling point. Obviously, then you have no concerns about accepting VA. A lot of times we sit down, and say we have 7 to 10 offers, and people automatically want to get rid of the VA because they've just heard these horror stories, and
which isn't true.
It's not true. And so I'm always educating people, whether it's, if I'm submitting an offer to a listing agent as a buyer's agent, or going over offers with my sellers. I'm partial, man. So if we can put a vet in a home,
let's do it.
Yeah. And now recently I had a listing that it was just, as far as pest clearance, not a problem. Right. But there was lots of little things like original single pane windows that were there was 20 of them that had cracks in them and stuff like that.
Cracks in the actual windows?
In the windows. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That could be FHA.
Yeah. Couldn't even. Yeah, exactly. So we had to be selective with the offer we took. But yeah, I mean, if as a seller, if you have time to get these things taken care of, do all your pre-inspections and make sure you can hand someone a house that you're not concerned about. So good. Because like this one, for instance, we were able to close it in 14 days because the buyer said, "Hey, you guys did all the inspections. What serious repairs were needed, you guys already took care of. Yeah, let's close quick."
Right. And that's what's nice about having the inspections done is then you know everything about your house. There's no all of a sudden you need a new roof, it's leaking and you didn't know about it, or all these other things. Let's get all these inspections out of the way. Then you can also ask top dollar for your house.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So this house hadn't been sold in 65 years.
Right. I'm not talking about a house. I'm talking in general.
No, I know.
Yeah. But I mean, you're right. 65 years. That's a while.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was inherited to the kids. And so anyway, these sellers were great. I mean, they did everything that I recommended. They got a 2-year roof cert, which wasn't cheap, had a whole home inspection, pest inspection, and just addressed a ton of stuff besides the cracked windows.
But did they replace the cracked windows?
No, it was never called in the appraisal, and
it was conventional.
It was conventional with
that's why they
40% down. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's the percentage down. It's just they didn't call conventional. That's not. Yeah. There's health and safety that they really look at under FHA and VA. That those could be.
Yeah.
No, depending on how cracked they are.
No, I was just saying that was the offer we took, right? Yeah. It was conventional 40%. So that's another indicator for sellers. Hey, we have buyers out there that have been waiting and they've got cash and they don't mind, putting it down to keep that payment low.
But 40, the difference between 20% and 40% is not a huge difference in payment. It sounds like a lot, but you have to really look at it. It's not, but maybe the payment that they wanted, you follow me, or they just had that money to put down. The biggest thing that could help most payments is just the rates, buying that rate down a little bit more than what they are. But most houses, for VA to be ready, you just have to have no bare wood, like underneath. So a lot of these are going to get called, but they're not a big deal. It's painting around the sliding glass door. Underneath the sliding glass door, you're always going to see, this is VA and FHA, you're going to see some bare wood down there. Yeah. Just get a little bit of primer. I had the house we sold on Keepsake, the back door had all these marks on it from dogs going through and all the different things. And so I just painted it, and it wasn't from our stuff. It was we rented it for 3 years.
Oh, gotcha.
While we wanted the values to come back up. And so I just went over there and touched all that stuff. Nothing got called on that VA.
That's good.
Yeah. And that's, of course, the pest report, there was always something because they got to find something, but it was only $800. Yeah. So, but I'm just saying, and at that time, I'm like, just take care of it. It's $800.
Yeah. Yeah. You say, well, okay, I could find someone to do it for half the price, but now I won't have a clear pest, right?
Well, So it's a harder to have the clear pest, but yes, you can still get. You just have to have them come back and say the work was done.
Yeah, but then you got to pay him another reinspection fee, so you might as well at that point have them replace the post for $800, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but we normally on the VA we they do a pest and then they do the short form pest also, but I've been running into lately they've already done the pest and they're working on the work. And that's, but again, and that's great. But then I also need a paid invoice by who actually ordered the appraisal, because we have to, under VA, you have to show, because the vet normally pays for the pest report. That's what they assume under VA. Mm-hmm. And so if they don't, then you have to show that the seller did.
Yeah. Just some typical paperwork shuffling, right?
Yeah. It's not a big deal. It's just send me an invoice paid. It's not a big deal.
Like I say, that should be in everyone, whatever listing agent's email, right?
Right. But it's not a big deal. Like I had one right now that we have to have them sign the pest report that they've seen it. You guys have to do it too, but you guys can do it more towards the close. We have to do it before close.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that way, because when we also see the clearance, we don't care about the clearance sign. We just care about the initial pest report.
Yeah, I was going to say, but I have to admit, man, that I rely heavily on my TCs, like as far as like initial docs. I'm like, okay, I got this, and this. Here you go. And then I say, please give me a list of everything that I, for some reason, may have forgotten. And there's always like one random form. They're like, but anyway, I won't bore people with the.
Well, a lot of times people, even though it's a VA or FHA, they forget the VA FHA disclosure.
Yeah. Yeah, I have that set in my template. So
I know, but I'm just saying they forget.
Yeah.
And anything that's checked on the boxes, we need to have also. So a lot of people check them so that then it automatically gets that form when they go to send out, right? They don't have to go click on it separately.
Yeah.
And then, so I ran into a situation where the agent, so my buyer's sister is an agent, and she referred it to them. And instead of getting referred the money, she wanted them to give the 25% referral fee or whatever they worked out, or whatever it was, to the buyer. And they were like, you can't do that. That is, I almost said collusion because we were talking about that earlier today. That I can't think of the word. When you can't, that's a kickback.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and no, it's not a kickback. A kickback is when you give something to somebody who's not part of the transaction. Johnny, who doesn't have a real estate license, sends you a buyer and he wants $250. That's a kickback.
Because he's not a licensed agent
and he's not part of the transaction. Yeah. But if it's a licensed agent and they said, I don't want it, I want it to go to my sister or whoever it was, brother, uncle, whatever, they can do that. You just have to fill out a form that says, I'm going to give up, addendum that says I'm going to give 25% of this commission up to this amount, and have everybody sign it. And a lot of them are like, well, we don't need to do that because my commission has nothing to do with the buyer and the seller. But it's part of the transaction, and what you have to do and versus what us lenders have to do sometimes don't work out to be the same thing.
Yeah. When in doubt, just keep it
on addendum.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Disclose it. And
right. And then everybody's aware.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. They can't come back and go, whoa. And so that, it's a lot of people think you can't do it. You can. Agents can help out buyers, even on VA. Now, loan officers can't. They passed that law a long time ago. Thank God. We were making the lists on there, and every agent asked us to cover all the stuff back in like 2008 and everything. They were like, we're short $2,000. Can you cover it? You're making $22,000. How about I'll make you a deal. Percentage per commission made, I will also go in at the same with you.
Yeah.
Right. And they'd never liked that answer.
They're going to say that's a law that actually worked in your favor, huh?
Yeah. Because I have no problem helping out. I'll take care of an appraisal occasionally. That's a lot of money. But for what we make off the loan amount. We don't make off the sales price. Mm-hmm. So, and we make a lot less than you guys do on average. And that's not saying anything against you guys.
Yeah, you guys do the volume, right? Because you have.
Well, we have to.
But yeah, I'm gonna say you
guys do volume too.
Yeah, but I mean, you guys normally most loan officers work with dozens of agents, right?
Right, but they don't all send a transaction every month.
No, I'm just saying, right?
Right. But you guys work with dozens of buyers or sellers.
Yeah.
See, I can do the right back at you.
Well, I was gonna say, but yeah, buyers, man, talk about running your
A lot of
back,
work.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, and it's much harder these days. And but luckily there's not a ton of inventory. Could you imagine if we had so much inventory?
Well, it would be like dating, right? Like you have too many options, you just can't choose.
Right. Now you find the best deal out there. You're not going to get 100% of what you want. You're not going to get 90. You're not going to get 85. You'll get about 70 to 75% of in a house of what you need and want.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it. Yeah, like you said, finding 100%. I think that's
Even a new home's not that way.
I was gonna say, unless you built the stupid thing from scratch, and even then, you probably change your mind by the time it was done.
Well, you just get in there and go, oh, I wish I would have done that differently.
Yeah. The only thing that it like someday when I buy another house is I want it to already have a pool.
Yeah, well, or put one in now.
Like I said, but it's so much cheaper just to buy a house with the pool because
not anymore.
The appraisers don't give it what 30 grand maybe in value.
It doesn't give anything like that.
No.
So average pool costs 60 grand.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get about 10 grand for it in value.
Grand. Okay.
Yeah. It's not the value that it increases the house. It's the enjoyment you get out of it in your backyard.
So yeah. So exactly why I want to buy a house.
But the problem with
most people is 90 grand now.
Well, we just did one. It's not, if on average, if you do it, depending on, you can, yeah, you're right. It's about 80 on average now, depending on the size of the pool and what you're trying to do and how much work in the yard itself and how much they got to take out, how much concrete, how much everything else. If it's just dirt, it's a lot cheaper because they just got to dig.
Yeah.
But it's just, you're right. But having one in, then you go, okay, well, now we got to redo it because the plaster's bad. This is, eventually you got to redo it. Yeah. And then that's 30 grand.
Or get the fiberglass pool.
Or just go get one from Costco and you can get a new one every year for a few $1,000.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so that's one of those things like a pool, right? Like
actually, I would tell people they have shipping container pools now. Where they cut it in half and they make it beautiful and they bring it in, they sit it down and you can put a deck around it, dig a hole, drop it in the hole, whatever you want. That would be the way.
Yeah.
Those are about 27 to 30 grand I've seen, but I haven't seen anybody building them in the States. This was out of Australia.
Of course.
I'm not, you're a handyman. Go get a container, cut it in half. You can do it.
Yeah. The only reason we don't, we don't want a pool right now because we still have little ones that can't.
That's swim. Exactly why you have a pool. Blake was 3 when we got our pool.
Yeah,
yeah. He was in floaties and he was out on the thing jumping. Neighbors would hear him at like 8 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, counting out 1, 2, 3, 4 candy balls and jump in. Yeah, I'm telling you, kids love it. And we had acapulco steps so they could get in better, easier and stuff like that. And that's where I'd hang out with an umbrella right there.
Yeah, no, I mean, my in-laws, they recently redid their pool. And so we spent a lot of time over there with the kids swimming, but just having one in the backyard, like
you can you have those fences you can put up to keep them out.
Yeah.
There's things you can do. I know you're worried, but
yeah.
But I mean, most of the time it's a problem no matter what you do.
Well, I was gonna say our middle son, he still goes out the dog door out to Granny's house in the back, right? In the morning. But he's been doing that since he was like 3, and sometimes he'd be out there in the middle of the night. And I was talking to my cousin because I was at a party at her house the other day, and her kid, when he was like 2.5 or 3, got up in the middle of the night, went out through the slider, and they found him standing on the top step in the pool. And then instead of putting up a fence, they just put locks on the doors. I'm like, okay.
Well, they had that we had that fence for a long time around it. So when we weren't, and they couldn't reach it to unlock it, only we could. And then eventually when they were old enough, we got rid of it, put it up in the attic, in the garage. So that way we still had it. So when we sold it, we could put it back in.
For sure.
Because that, they want that or the alarms on the door. Well, worst part, Blake, when he was like young, 2.5, he would go to the front door, unlock it, and go down to the neighbors.
Yeah. So you got to put that deadbolt up high, huh?
Yeah. So it doesn't matter. I mean, front door, back door, it's you enjoy your yard a lot more when you have a pool.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to be outside in the heat with just sitting out there talking.
For sure.
We enjoy ours. We've only had it a year or so.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I got for today. Enough about pool talk. But you're right. It's cheaper if you find a home with it. But then you also got the home is going to be more expensive and you have a higher interest rate.
And probably higher insurance.
Not that much.
No.
I have the insurance is the same. We just got a $2 million policy just in case something happened, and that's $250 a year.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's not that expensive. That's not the problem.
Yeah.
That's not the issue. Issue is only if you rent it or stuff like that. You have other problems you have to worry about.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's just you have to look at what's, you being a contractor or not a contractor, but have done stuff like that, you could actually hire everybody and probably do it for 22 grand.
Yeah. Just be the general and sub it out.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people. There was our first pool was done by some people through the police, not academy, but police up in Stockton. They started a pool company, and that's what they did their own, and then started doing it, and it was much cheaper. Yeah, because the same companies do it for everybody.
Yeah, I can say it's not a very common skill. You have very select number of people that probably bounce around in between the same companies.
Well, no, you have the people who dig it. You have Burkett's who does the plastic, the spray, the stuff. You have, you might need to get somebody to do concrete separately, but a lot of that same gunite, right, from Burkett's or whoever it is, they use that to make the retaining walls too. And sometimes even do steps out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just finding that company. So something to think about. You can do it a lot cheaper. A lot. I'm serious. You could do it. And didn't have to. And if you pay cash, guess what? They show up to you first.
Yeah.
Because these other people send checks. I'm serious. I've talked to so many people. I know somebody else who in my Rotary did it here, and he did it in his house in Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saved a lot of money.
Good to know.
All right, everybody, make a great day. And we're all over the place today. But thanks for being here. It's Thursday, and we'll be back next week on Tuesday. Bobby, thanks for being here. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Ed.